Okay, let's face it, guys. The wrestling business has not really been so great in 2013. But I will admit that there's been some great heels that will actually develop from this situation. But finding some quality heels was a little bit hard, so I had to recruit my very good friend Nj Brady from the British Fist to help me find some really great quality heels for this list. And he found some good ones. Now, honestly, since we're both in different countries and, well, we both have extremely busy schedules, my point of view is going to be on this list. I am not speaking for NJ at all. He can speak for himself. But I will be noting what his picks were and what my picks were. But anyway, guys, let's get started on the top 10 heels of 2013. Back in the day, Vicky Guerrero had it all. She had Edge. She was running two companies. Well, she was running both SmackDown and Raw at the time, and she was at the top of her game. But now she's considered a laughingstock of the WWE. But I will say this, she's probably one of the best female managers, the best female heel manager of this era. She doesn't top Sensational Sherry, but she is still a really great heel manager. Unfortunately, with the constant public firings and the constant humiliation that she has put through, that is why she is put so low on this list. AJ Lee's epic confrontation that she had with Caitlyn really did shake up the Divas division. It got the Divas division a lot more notice, and they're actually having two matches on Raw every night. They also have Total Divas, which spun from AJ's success and AJ's being noticed. But let's face it, the skipping is starting to get old. Her female Lolita kind of style is getting old as well. She really needs to reinvent her character because she really has nothing more to do. She was only interesting with the guy that she had on her arm, but now she doesn't have anybody. She's starting to lose interest. Hence why she is this low on the list as well. I love Stephanie. I loved her during the times of the Attitude Era. I loved her during the times of the Ruthless Aggression Era. I couldn't stand the McMahon-Helmsley era, and I still can't to this day. But she's a great heel. I'm not going to deny that. The fact that she was the $1 Million Princess really, well, as much as she annoyed me, she was really an awesome heel. I can say now that motherhood really did mature her, but she's still downright annoying. But she's still a great heel, and I guess when she actually spouts that in you, that shows how great she's doing it. So, she is number 8 on this list, but she still annoys me. Okay, I know a lot of you are like, why is this guy on the list? All he did was cry the whole time. And yeah, you're right. But you gotta understand, just because he was a weeping giant don't mean he weeps for long. He became an angry giant. And it's shown over the years that this guy can put on a good show when he's angry. Especially his epic feud that he had with Mark Henry back in the day. But yeah, he is kind of low on this list because he was booked badly. The storyline fell short. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to utilize his anger. They kind of moved on from that. But still, when this guy gets angry, he puts on a good show. And that is why he is on this list at number 7. Yes, guys, while you like it or not, these guys go on the list. Now, I'm not talking about the unmasked version of the Aces and Eights. I am talking about when they were masked. When they first came out, they got people talking. Everybody wanted to know about the president. Everybody wanted to know who they were. They were cloaked in anonymity, and that's what made them interesting. The mystery behind it all. The only flaw that they had was they revealed people too early, and they revealed characters that nobody cared about. And then from there, the Aces and Eights started to dwindle and die out. Thank God they have, because they became a blight to TNA Impact altogether. So yes, they're number 6 on this list, but that was because when they were only masked, not how they are currently. Well, not really anymore, but you get the idea. The Shield. There were times that you were relevant. There were times I even thought you were cool. But, well, they're not so cool anymore. But when they first made their debut, they absolutely showed how ruthless they were. No one knew when they were coming. They made these anonymous moments on the Titantron that kind of made you wonder, oh gosh, what are they going to do next? That is what made them interesting. But then they end up turning corporate, and that is when it kind of diminished for me. They're still an interesting character. I mean, altogether, all three of them are great characters, but it's a given now that they're pushing Roman Reigns more than the other two, more than Ambrose and Rollins. So you can tell there's going to be a split soon. But honestly, they were great as a team. They're still great as a team, but now they're not utilized as much as they used to be, which is why they're at number 5 on this list. Okay, number 4 was a hard one. It was a toss-up between Triple H and Bully Ray. I love both characters. They both have been brutish heels at one time. But honestly, this spot goes to Bully Ray. And the reason why is because even though Bully Ray plays a great thug, that's how he is. He can't go anywhere else from there. There's nothing that Bully Ray can do to reinvent himself. He's not a dynamic character. He's static. Can you imagine Bully Ray being, I mean, he can't be a psychotic heel. It just won't fit him. He's more of a brute and a thug. And that's just, he just stuck being that way. And the fact is that it works. I'm not going to say it doesn't work. It works. And now that he broke up with Tessmacher, who knows what's going to happen from here. So yeah, he is number 4 on this list. Moving on to number 3. This guy is a dynamo in the ring. He definitely brings the pain and shows the punishment. And whatever feud that he is in, he brings it out in the ring. He's also an excellent guy on the mic. The only problem is I don't see him changing. Like, he was a face at one time when he was actually with James Storm. But when he left James Storm and did that heel turn, that was probably the best point of his career. But now they actually teamed up with Bad Influence and became a little bit funny for a while. Then all of a sudden he ended up going back to being serious. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But Bobby Roode does not top the next 2 on this list. He's a great heel, but he just doesn't top the next 2 on this list. And that's why he's at number 3. It's not because he's a bad heel. It's not because he is mediocre. He's not. He's a very serious heel. He has the propensity to become dynamic. He is great in the ring, and he knows how to tell a good story. But he just doesn't trump this guy on the next on the list because this guy happens to be a vet. He was out a little bit longer than Bobby Roode, I believe, but he is still a vet. Triple H. Now this guy had many faces that has changed amongst the years. He became a hoity-toity, I'm better than you kind of guy, to becoming a really fun guy in DX that kind of frowned in the face of authority, to becoming a quasi-face, and also becoming the cerebral assassin, and then becoming a businessman, a COO at that. That's a huge change in my opinion. Not a lot of wrestlers can pull that off. If they ever have a character that goes from being a wrestler to a businessman, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes they can't pull that off. But Triple H is a man of many faces. He is able to pull all these faces off, which makes him very unique. But honestly, it puts him at number 2 on this list because I'm looking for, in my opinion, to be a true heel. A guy that does not care what is going to be here or there or what the situation is going to be. That is my opinion of a true heel. And even though Triple H is more of a modern heel, I'm used to the heels from back in the day. So that's why he's at number 2 on this list. And there's some people that may agree with me for number 1, but then there's some that aren't. But let's see who number 1 is. NJ and I have agreed on everyone on this list except for one. Now, NJ chose the Wyatt family. I don't know if he chose it as a whole or if he met someone else, but he chose the Wyatt family. Me personally, I choose one person from the family, and that, of course, is Bray Wyatt. I have not seen anyone to come out of NXT since the Nexus that demands so much attention from the crowd without trying. Bray Wyatt can sit in a rocking chair and rock back and forth and people will still be watching him. He can bring the creepy in the ring when he does the Valdo backbend and crawls towards his victims, scaring the ever-loving daylights out of them. Not only that, he does his backbend before he does the Sister Abigail and knocks him out. His character scares everybody in that entire arena, and he doesn't have to work hard doing it. And that is why Bray Wyatt is number one for the top 10 heels of 2013.